Okay, so I've written it, I've had a little break, I'm going to edit it down. It's been said that there's no good writing, there's only good rewriting. So everything you do, you should make time to do it, have a break, and then come back to it and rewrite it. And what I'm probably going to do is go through and just delete things, because often writing improves when you remove stuff. There's a bit of reference to previous research. Don't need that. Like you say, it exists. Okay, I'm probably going to talk less in this video, which might be a relief to you listening. It might be a relief to me. I'm just going to go through sentence by sentence, changing it. Okay, this is duplication. So rather than say was effective at making people follow social norms, the signage including eyes encouraged social norm following. Same things, like fewer words. Every time you cut some words out, you reduce the effort the reader has to make in general. So you can keep it simple. Okay, that description of the sign is all essential, because that's key to the experiment. I can probably make this. Do we need to know that it was campus security monitored the cycle thefts? Not really. For the year before and after sign placement, cycle thefts were monitored for the year before and after sign placement. In these locations and in control locations. Also around campus. The around campus is relevant because it shows that they're comparable. The independent variable was sign presence. Since we're trying to reduce the words, let's put this in the same structure. So the independent variable was sign presence. The dependent variable was theft number. This was a in situ test of a policy intervention. Let's just say it's an intervention. It's not really a policy intervention. The policy is to have signs. The dependent variable was theft's number. This is an in situ test of an intervention. So what this is really, what is it? This was a controlled trial of an intervention. So it's a trial, but it's got a control, so it's a controlled trial. Okay. Overall, we don't need to give these percentages. I said I'd look them up later. I'm not going to give them because we're cutting stuff. Fish. Okay, don't need to say from the graph. Making this one sentence with a hyphen, two sentences, because often every sentence should only have one idea in. The introduction of the signs reduced thefts at those locations. odds ratio. Let's just remove the full stops. Let's keep them in because or is actually a word. Following the method of. Okay, I'm going to delete that. Saves me looking up again. Just compared the ratio of change. The was significantly above 1 for both halves of the year. Both. Maybe I can make that shorter. Simplify that. An intervention total reduced crime may have a highly significant odds ratio. Okay. This is where most of the words are. How many have I got to save? 300. This all seems alright. Okay, I'm going to just group my suggestions at the end next to their relative, next to this, put them in the next to the criticisms. So that can go there. Yeah. I'm going to do that? No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. It makes sense to do it because it connects the improvements with the criticisms, but it makes it less clear that you're making a series of suggestions, which is sort of, you want to make that obvious for the reader. So I'm going to leave them at the end. I'll go back to editing. Can the effect be used to reduce overall crime? Odds ratios, statistic disguises that the signs appear to display crime rather than reduce it. Going to delete that. It remains to be seen if widespread deployment of the signs could actually reduce crime levels. Would the effect last? Right, that's an introductory sentence. Don't need that. It's highly plausible that criminals would adjust to the presence of the signs. When you don't have space, it's okay to skimp on some of the explanation, because we're assuming a reader who is as informed as you are. They've read the paper like you have, and they just want to be convinced by your argument about it. That's alright, I think. What was the mechanism of the effect? Okay. We're going to assume that the reader has followed what we've said before. I've already mentioned that the signs contain lots of elements. It is already difficult to know what about the signs. Generally, if you say them, it's often very good to say specifically what you mean. So rather than what about them, I've said what about the signs cause the effect. Which psychological mechanisms operated to bring about the effect? Okay, so this sentence here, I think all these sentences can be one. It's a large leap to go from social norms to law breaking. Why don't we say bicycle may not, or social norm conformity may not be a large factor in the decision of someone to steal a bike. That's all I'm saying, really. It may not be about social norms. More plausibly, they, again saying who's they now because I've stopped it being clear. More plausibly, bike thieves worry about being caught, which the signs seem well designed to influence. The authors draw on research showing a possibly non-conscious influence of social cues. So I'll just say claiming. But this study leaves open the possibility that these were affected by an entirely deliberative consideration. And I'm being explicit, so I'll keep that. It's not possible to make any inference about the influence of subtle cues. Another possibility. Okay, let's just cut that. It is possible. It is possible that security conscious, that's hyphen security conscious because it's kind of one thing, security conscious cyclists chose differentially to lock their bikes in locations with signs. This would leave poorly locked bikes in the non-signed locations and thus raise the level of theft from these locations. Okay, I like that. Suggested future research would suggest these for or areas of criticism. For example, silent elements adding context of national crime statistics might inform whether this intervention could reduce crime. If crime overall was increasing, the consistent number of thefts in the after part of the study would actually be a relative reduction. Or alternatively, the study could be carried out in locations with probably a low number of cycle thieves. It would be easiest to observe any evidence of adaptation in these circumstances. It's not really interesting to compare London, where it'll be hard to observe the effect. You want to find an effect, you've got to test it where it's likely to be. So I'm just saying the same study could be carried out in locations with a low number of cycle thieves, e.g. remote communities. It would be easiest to observe any evidence of adaptation in these circumstances. Finally, the mechanism actually could be tested by obviously an example, locking identical bikes in identical ways, by locking bikes in identical ways in signed and non-signed locations and measuring their likelihood of being stolen. This will control for the effect occurring via the cyclists. Cyclists' actions. If the mechanism is deliberative reasoning by the thieves, then signs where each eye-catching contain a warning would have the same effect as signs with the eyes. Okay, 1065 words. Words to go. Okay, 65 words to go, but we don't count the references, so that's only 38 words to go. So wanted to know if tested, if signs placed by cycle racks reduced bike thefts. What large signs were placed above cycle racks These signs feature a large pair of male eyes, the slogan "Cycle Thieves, we are watching you." University Security Services logo, and the words Operation Crackdown. Cycle tests were monitored in this makes it less clear, but no, I like it. I like being clear too much. I'm not going to delete with signs and without signs just for 4 words. Okay, it's not really important. That's Fisher's exact test. There was a highly significant interaction between the presence of the sign and time. No, gonna keep that. The odds ratio incorporates the displacement definitely. Okay. The authors suggest that the evidence shows that thefts were displaced from locations. Okay, so that's fair enough. That's really okay. That's simple. That 10 days. So if I remove that, 1008. Right, I'll remove 8 words. How many words is that? Yes, although the results of the study are convincing. Let's just delete that. A number of questions remain. Okay, so that's 1,000 words. And we're done.